This is my senior capstone project, and the title of it was kind of hard to come up with exactly what I could to encapsulate what the entirety of this project is, but it's the role of digital storytelling in public relations and marketing, and it's about the intersection of video production with PR in the growing digital era. So this is going to be my project. So to introduce the project, I'm Ellie Janszen, as she mentioned as well. I'm a senior. It's my 4th year here. And I've taken a multitude of classes throughout my time here, whether that's between marketing, law classes, comm classes, video production, digital media. And in this project, I had the chance last semester to start prepping for it through junior assessment. And junior assessment, which you guys I'm sure have heard about, is going to be one of those classes where you spend a lot of time researching and figuring out what's something you can do that you haven't gotten the chance to maybe in the classroom or something you want to expand on. So for my project, I chose the topic that I had discussed. This past semester has been senior assessment, where I'm now taking everything that I researched, putting it into play, and actually getting the chance to practice everything. So this project is a culmination of everything those last 2 semesters, but also these past 4 years of me being in school here, through every single class I've taken, digital courses, communication, whatever that may be. It's focused on that intersection of digital production and marketing and strategic storytelling, but also so much more. So last semester, when I decided what I wanted to do, I went to Professor Rogan and I said, okay, here's what I'm interested in doing. And she said, you know, maybe let's take something that you've researched and keep expanding that. Let's push on and see what you might be interested in that you haven't touched on yet. And I worked with Aaron Osborne on the marketing video for the Christmas one that goes out to everyone. And I realized how much I enjoyed that, and I told her I'd like to take a bigger role in something like that. Could that be possible, and being able to incorporate that with PR? So that then transpired into what this project was. And the goal was to foster a strong sense of pride, unity, and participation, while also creating a visual experience that was emotional to showcase traditions like commencement, which bring together not only the graduating class and the students here at Findlay, but generations that have gone through the University of Findlay. So I wanted to celebrate the diverse journeys and experiences while honoring the dedication and support from families, faculty, staff, alumni, everybody that takes a piece of commencement. And it's not just about graduation. Obviously, it is largely based on the commencement ceremony, but it's a tribute to the moments and the experiences and the collective efforts and support that many students dream about that's finally becoming reality. That moment when you finally get to step across the stage and receive that degree and say, I did it, I graduated. So here's a little bit more about my client correspondence and project details. So the focus was this video series where I would be the video producer and director. And it was in collaboration with the UF marketing department. And I was going to be exploring how these well-crafted videos are important to creating a PR campaign. The project helped me oversee scripting, casting, filming, and I took a large role in ensuring that the project was on track with what marketing goals would be for the UF marketing department. I had meetings with Aaron consistently and just trying to figure out how I could surpass the impact that traditional media plays in our lives by taking this role in social media. So my hope was to show how video production and storytelling can enhance PR by not only just engaging the audiences, but building connections with more people throughout the series and the community in Findlay as a whole. My approach was sort of hard to decide in the beginning, but I came down to why this is so important to PR. It gave me the chance to combine real-world application with industry collaborations with the UF marketing department and work with digital media experts like Aaron. And this has been a great help in being able to accomplish everything that I had said would be a goal in the beginning. It's given me a chance to actually tackle that hands-on and do something that's going to be produced to the UF community. So in understanding the intersection of digital media and public relations, it's important to know that narrative-driven content is a main impact on communities because video production is a very influential tool. And I'm sure maybe a lot of you guys know how important digital media is and how much of a role video plays. I'm sure you've viewed a reel at some point, gone on TikTok, watched a YouTube video. But in an article from Cisco, they said in 2027, over 80% of internet traffic will be taken over by video. So in my research, I wanted to be able to prove that this is important, that doing a video project over maybe posting some graphics or maybe just factual evidence of graduation, a video highlighting stories of students would be a much more impactful opportunity because video is so engaging. It has the opportunity to influence. Hence why a lot of businesses choose to hire influencers to be such a main point of their brands. this is something where maybe it's not influencers, but it's voices and stories of people in the community that can influence people to maybe decide to come here or donate to the community or attend the commencement ceremony to see what it's really about. And it can connect a lot of audiences to brands, especially if the media is actually having the right outreach to the people that the audience is targeting. So this was just important to me of actually detecting why it matters and why it's so important to influence and connect with the audience. And I learned throughout the power of storytelling in PR because of two things. I narrowed it down to the engagement and digital shift because storytelling is so key to PR. You take storytelling classes while you're here, public relations courses, but you only see until you actually incorporate into something like this where the main intersection comes, because it's about fostering those strong relationships. PR really focuses on bridging organizations and communities, and the digital shift we're beginning to see can deepen these connections, and this is important at a university level. According to the Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Management from 2024, their review proved that audience-specific content and emotional storytelling proves to be much more successful than typical storytelling. So that was my hope in creating a storytelling piece that would strengthen viewer relations with our audience and could be a core strategy for the marketing department, but also as a PR tool. I tried to highlight the use also of ethos, logos, pathos to boost this impact. I know a lot of the time video production can be used as a way to entertain, but it can also be a way to educate, inform, and prove yourself to be trustworthy. So using ethos and my partnership with the UF marketing department and my months of extensive research, this helped me create that bond with the industry experts that I worked with, like Aaron, to add that credibility to my work, to say, I know what I'm doing and I've been here and I've studied this, and hopefully this is something that can encapsulate exactly what I'm hoping to. Then moving on to logos, the video, traditional media is so popular with engagement, as I mentioned. So storytelling equals logic in my mind because it's an effective PR tool to many. Pathos also was able to evoke that emotion piece because emotional stories equal stronger connections. They capture pride, nostalgia, excitement, all of the different things that commencement is about. And I thought this would boost the entire impact of the project by helping do this and explaining that having that trust but also entertainment piece is so important because also alongside being media literate, using these are crucial to being able to connect with your environment. So the first video I'm going to show you guys is part of what my whole discovery was in this project. I'm not sure if any of you have seen the Countdown to Commencement videos in the past, but it's typically just a video looking straight on at the camera where you're explaining your name, major, an important piece of Findlay to you, and what you're doing after you graduate. And my goal with this project was to enhance that by sharing stories with different episodes. And this first episode series is called My College Journey. So this is going to be one of the short pieces from it that will be shared. Does it sound connected? Do I have to turn it on? Is there a way to turn it up? I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know why it's... I have it turned up all the way. Which button on the remote?
Whatever, yeah, whatever she's doing.
She said, he said press the button on the remote.
That's what I did. There we go. Soundtrack.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
And my name is John Romero, and I'm being interviewed for the senior countdown.
So now, looking ahead, graduating this spring, what is that going to be like? You know, like the first person to walk across that stage saying, I got a college degree.
That hits different now that you say it now, but to be able to walk across that stage and, I'm done. Like, I graduated, so it's now a big landmark. Like, I might downplay it for now, but I think once I get there, it'll be pretty cool. I'll be pretty stoked. Well, I now have an opportunity to go to college and to better myself and to continue to hopefully do that for future generations. So that's been super cool just to talk about that with my mom and be able to know that that's where I come from, people that have paved the way for me and given me that opportunity. My great-grandparents, they went to kindergarten, that's it, and they had to work in the fields. They were doing agricultural jobs, jumping from state to state. That's just kind of what they had to do to make ends meet, but they worked hard to be able to provide for their children. And my grandparents did the same thing. Like they were working from a very young age and they continued to do that. And they provided a great opportunity for my parents to be able to continue with high school. And my parents were doing the same thing. They were working in the fields, working super hard to be able to provide an opportunity for us. Thank goodness we didn't have to do that. Well, I now have an opportunity to go to college and to better myself. But I think, again, to be a first generation student, like, again, once I cross that stage, it'll probably hit me, it'll probably be some tears, but I'm super excited for that moment to come for sure. Man, shout out to man upstairs, shout out to my family for all the support that they've given me, shout out to all the faculty of education, including Mark Wilkie, my guy, shout out to Coach Allen and all the football coaches that have helped me along the way, especially shout out to my teammates, man, love you guys. Bye, Philly. I'll never forget you.
So, like I had mentioned, my college story was an important piece to changing exactly what this countdown to commencement was about. Doing something more than just the typical videos, than being able to show the real stories, like I said, like from the diverse backgrounds and different journeys that people take. So I used 2 case studies to determine what was going to be important to be able to show why creativity is so important in storytelling. So the first case study was from News Literacies and Education. It was a 5th grade classroom that used digital storytelling software and implemented it into their computers and programs. And they used this to learn creative and storytelling skills. And they noted that everything was improved from using these by giving them the chance to actually work through that software and teach themselves things about that they hadn't got the chance to work on in years prior. It showed that PR core skills are so important for effective messaging. And the other case study that followed this had to do with destination marketing. It was from Hospitality and Tourism Management in 2024. And it talked about how emotional storytelling and destination marketing plans using photos and videos that evoke emotions help connect with the travelers and people deciding to come there. They were able to show that it increased profit and increased tourism to the areas by connecting on a deeper level. Here's the second video I'd like to show. This is going off of what's going to be the second piece of this that I got to work on, which is the typical countdown to commencement videos.
Hi, my name is John Romero. I'll be graduating with a bachelor's degree of science. And this last semester, I've been able to embark on my journey of student teaching. That's been a really cool experience because I've been able to impact the lives of those in the community around me, young and old, just being able to learn from them and teach them some things and just be able to be a positive role model for them, and also be able to use those skills on the football field as a leader within the team. It's just been a super cool opportunity to be able to receive the trust from those around me. With my remaining years of eligibility, I plan on continuing to play football once I'm done with my undergrad, and also being able to pursue a master's degree.
So going off of choosing that, I then went into audience targeting and the demographics around here. So why Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube? In an article from PRSA, they talked about how messaging truly builds brand identity. And I did a lot of research into the analytics that go on within these 3 platforms. So in our meta platforms, Instagram typically gets between 500 to 700 likes with around 14K followers. So my hope would be to boost that with these type of videos by around 2%. And according to the Journal of Human and Society in 2023, I chose this because this project will specifically target demographics on platforms with Meta, because it's important to focus on the age, education, income targeting on these, because tailoring that content on Meta is so crucial to being able to reach that right audience to be able to increase that engagement. Something else that I found really interesting is that YouTube's algorithm personalizes recommendations to help creators. So people that are already engaged with Finley might see these, but being able to do more outreach, so maybe with stuff like first generation college student, this could reach other students that are interested in looking at videos around this. Another thing that I really used in creating this project was an article from US News and World Report, which talked about that Finley has a 94% acceptance rate, but currently a 43% graduation rate. And then we have 71% classes with fewer than 20 students. So looking at these, it should be a different outcome. If you're a student researching Finley and maybe see something like this might be something that changes your mind on wanting to go here when you don't really understand what goes on in the smaller classroom setting and what happens when you get to that graduation stage. There's a million things that could contribute to that. So something important to note that this project allows that community and the outreach within Finley and other states, people interested in coming to school here, alumni that are maybe curious about how successful Finley is doing right now. This helps them see the stories of students that have succeeded and are crossing the stage and getting that degree, regardless of what that article could be saying. So for the end of the semester, it's been a very rewarding journey. I feel like I've continued to evolve throughout every single piece of this project. I hit roadblocks that I had thought I maybe would, I thought I wouldn't, that I was able to overcome, and I'm still working towards, but I look forward to the future of creating this innovative content and meaningful PR experiences. These videos will be released within next week and so on. I'd like to give a special thank you to Aaron Osborne for all the help in the marketing department and Professor Rogan for everything that has been done this semester. And I just am really grateful for this wealth of experience through the project. So thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate it. I'm open to any questions now.
We'll take questions from faculty.
So Ellie, how many videos for Countdown to Commencement did you interview for, shoot, edit, and actually come
Yeah.
together?
So there's going to be 8 graduate and 8 undergrad, and then there's going to be around 3 or 4 of these per episode with different stories from students. So there's going to be a My College Journey, and then there's going to be one about like being at college specifically. So maybe sharing your favorite dinner night at Hendo or your favorite study spot, the friends you met, funny experiences, and then heading towards graduation, a more shout-out based one. So yeah, there was 8 students for both.
And these are gonna all go out on all 3 of the platforms that you know.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You actually answered some of my questions. I know you answered those for. I'm trying to find ones you didn't answer already. What obstacles did you find from other places on campus? Because graduation involves multiple departments like BPA and stuff like that. And how did you negotiate those obstacles with marketing in order to sort of get the product as
Yeah.
what they would want and what marketing would want too?
Yeah, so the nice thing is when doing junior assessment last semester and going through everything I would need to budget and for my timeline, it was a $0 budget because I knew I'd be able to use the studio and the resources within the comm department and throughout the marketing department that they're thankfully sharing with me. So that was really great. I mostly just worked with the marketing department because they already have a lot of video of B-roll, students that they could talk to, people from admissions that I could reach out to about maybe a first-generation college student or transfer student that I could speak with. And then I just did community outreach with the deans of different colleges, stopping in their offices, sending emails, and Josh from the marketing department also helped me a lot with finding students that were willing. So yeah, that's.
Do you feel like they kind of shielded you from other influences that might have had a don't do this, do that? Like,
Not really, no. Yeah, I feel like luckily enough, my job title being able to direct this and make my own like creative decisions where there was stuff I was interested in. If I had gone to them and said, you know, is there anywhere you can guide me on this or I need some support on this, anybody around the university was really willing and helpful. So yeah, no complaints there. Really most of the obstacles that I had been told I would encounter, like scheduling issues and students backing out, or maybe just getting into editing, something being different with like lights or timing, how long it would take to go through stuff. That was everything that I was told I was going to run into, and I have. So, but been able to get through it with help and support of the marketing department for sure.
good. And I'm glad you didn't have a ton of obstacles, but I hope you had some.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to find, you know, in organizations anywhere. So sort of obstacles.
Definitely. That's a good question. I think I would definitely say there's so much work that goes into this project, and every single video project they have to do because they're working around the clock with every event that's going on. So when it comes to making a video like this, they're just trying to get the stories and share them. So maybe with the people that are interning or helping out with them when there isn't somebody to do a project like I asked to do, giving them something like this, maybe saying, hey, let's do a series or continue on with big events that are happening on campus, whether that be homecoming weekend or commencement, something around that. Just finding more people that may be willing. Maybe they can do that for a semester internship or through a job study of some sort. Yeah. Yeah, because they're very willing to let you, try things, hands-on, experience stuff, because, they have to approve things before they go out regardless, and they're going to look through all the work that you do. So I think just being able to let people get their hands-on experience is something that I would say don't be afraid to go ask if you can help out and work with them. I think they'd definitely be up for any help that they could get.
Do you think that's like a different experience you get at a smaller school versus if you were at a larger school? Would you have that kind of leeway?
Yeah, I'd say without a doubt, I don't think that would be the same at a bigger school. I think it's one of those things where I could walk from, one of my classes right downstairs to Aaron's office and just say, hey, I have a couple questions. He'd shoot me right to someone and connect me on an email and be like, this is someone you can go talk to, something like that. So it definitely helped a lot, I'd say. Another thing that I had talked about with Aaron specifically was when it came to Adobe and learning all those sort of things. I did that at my news internship last summer. Completely different type of editing style, and that's also something, once you go through months of working on that, you plan on continuing something there. So I think being able to get the marketing and PR experience that maybe I didn't have time for because I was trying internships in different parts of communication was amazing, and I'm really grateful for the marketing department for allowing me to do that. And I think that's something you can't get somewhere else. There's only going to be limited opportunities to do all these different things, especially with outside of your major and within it. So that's something I am very appreciative of, and I think that would not come at a bigger school.
So you note your internship at WLIO when you're doing daily news.
Mm-hmm.
So writing, using video, editing, and then you do communication in the marketing department, which is a different type, even if you're using the same equipment, as you know. So all of these experiences, in addition to your other work, how is that helping guide you for what are you going to do after you graduate? What do you know now that's going to help you think in the future?
Yeah, so funny enough, I was just talking to Professor Rogan today. I recently accepted a job that's more in the marketing PR realm, and I was planning prior to go into broadcasting after doing that internship. I absolutely loved it. It was such a great experience, but being able to have these experiences learning storytelling and working with companies, brand voices, I found that that's something that I was really interested in. And like you said, there's so many similarities but so many different things. I would take a camera out on my shoulder, set up a light on top of it, and I'd write my questions out beforehand. When it comes to something like this, it was more so, you're sitting in a studio, framing the shot. Maybe you have some questions planned, but maybe he told me a story and then I started asking questions from there that you might not have on a time crunch when you're trying to turn a story around by 5 p.m. But this is something where I got to work on throughout the course of months. So that was something that was really special for me. And I think just being able to experience this helped guide me to my future career path for sure.
So where did you accept a job?
I'm working at Michelson Homes. It's a home renovation company. So yeah, I'll be doing like their digital marketing and content creation.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's one thing from this project that you learned that you walked away with, what would that be, that one thing?
I would definitely say throughout every single step, both pre and post production, you have to fully rely on yourself because there's going to be people that are going to help you out. I had the marketing department there for me, and I had students willing to do it, but there's going to be issues you come in contact with, especially when you're doing classes at the same time because, when it came to my scheduling and needing to figure out when I could meet with people, when I could find time to edit, people backing out, maybe conversations that I needed to have prior that I didn't have until that day of. I didn't really realize until I was in the moment. So now going ahead, when it comes to like my content planning, every single aspect, storyboarding, scripting, questions, everything I know needs to be planned ahead. Sure, it's something you can run through people, but you need to be really self-reliant and be able to time manage that. So I'd say that's a really big takeaway.
Students, you have any questions?
You mentioned very early in the presentation that you were in charge of the Christmas video this year. What caused you to create that? Because it was really popular among the students that at least I was friends with.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I'm part of the Euler 10 consulting agency, and the marketing department had said they wanted some help on their website building, then mentioned the Christmas video, and as soon as I heard like video, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to help out. So when we connected with them on that project, I took the lead for that, and I just really enjoyed it. I had a great time working with Erin, just coming up with story, scripting, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, it just definitely led me to realize that more creative thinking and content strategy planning was something I wanted to do. But yeah, that was my role there. Wasn't as much in as I am this semester, but we were in a partnership with them with the Euler 10. So it was all of us as a whole.
Aaron, do you have anything to add or ask or any comment?
Oh geez, don't put me on the spot. I'm hiding in the back for a reason.
Sorry.
No, I just make a general comment to any students out there that, yeah, I mean, you're gonna get a good education, but, you know, you're, even at the very end, you're gonna realize, man, there's more to learn, and always seek out, you know, any new professional or anybody in your life or in your career that you think can offer you, you know, new knowledge. Even if you can only spend a little bit of time with them, because I think, you know, it's just going to help you excel. So, and I think that's something that you're learning
100%.
at the very end, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
So much cool stuff that I can still keep learning.
For
just
sure.
Talking with you about your new job.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you can, you know, when you get there, do this.
right.
And you're like, oh, that's a cool idea.
For sure. No, and I think going off of that, that's something huge, because I think something I would also say to future students that are doing this project, use junior assessment, which I'm sure you'll be told to obviously focus on the research portion, but try to get as much done of that so you don't have to rearrange that in the next semester and you can solely focus on your project. Because I wish more than anything, after learning so much from Erin in these past few weeks, I had even more time to do that. Like even when I was taking my video production class sophomore year, that I could have gone in there and just gone through a video and seen all the little skills you can do, because there's so much, and he's a wizard on his computer, so it's very different than what I know how to do, but it's really been awesome because there's everything that he's teaching me I'm going to be able to take away with me for my future job.